Welcome back to Off Grid at Mount Binga. In our last episode, our century-old house finally arrived on site and was rejoined back together into one piece again. Now it's time for it to get its roof back on and for the whole house to be lowered onto its final resting spot. We say final, but this house will have the final say about that. Don't forget, it's already been moved twice. First from Brisbane to Maleny about 9 years ago, and now from Maleny all the way here to Mount Binga. And here we are, a century after it was built, putting it all back together for its second time. It makes you wonder, do you think the original carpenters from the 1920s ever imagined that a century later some crazy couple would buy this old junker, cut it up and haul it up the Blackbutt Range from 150 kilometres away and rebuild it? Well, here we are. Some definitely might call us crazy, but there are enough of you out there watching now that are all in with us. Now back to the rebuild. The crew you see here reassembling this roof are the same experts who carefully took it apart before we cut the house and moved it. They know exactly where every piece goes and in what order, because they were the ones that took it off. Take a good look at these rafters now. You're not seeing modern pre-made roof trusses here. This entire structure was hand cut and hand nailed back in the 1920s, cut with a handsaw and nailed with a hammer. It's all hardwood too. Good luck trying to drive a new nail into it now. It's practically impossible. But this time, the roof framing is going back together with screws, not nails. A little bit of new technology meets old world craft. But the structure is pure tradition. Hand-pitched ridge beams, hip rafters, jack rafters, valley rafters and king posts. It's all there. As a new age carpenter focusing on modern builds, Byron's done very little of this hand-pitching work. So watching these guys, who are pretty similar in age to him, piece this roof back together without even thinking about it was incredible. It was truly second nature to them. And as much as Byron wanted to be up there helping along, instead he sat under the shade of a hoop pine tree and watched. They were so comfortable walking around up there, effortlessly lifting these genuinely heavy members and slotting them back into place. So please understand, what these guys make look like an easy job is actually hard, heavy and tough work. Hats off to the whole crew, you absolutely smashed it.
Well, it's 3 days after the trucks arrived, 2 days after the house was joined together. Yesterday we had rain, and it's lunchtime today, day 3. The roof is on, just like that. The boys got it done. There's plenty of them, and they didn't muck around. They rolled in on time. They got straight to work each day. They hustled, and they got it done. So let's go have a look.
We had a different crew completely for the stumping of the house, still working for the same company, but a few new faces and a different set of skills, and a sight dog named Havoc. As much as our boys would have loved to play with him, we thought we'd save everyone the headache of 30 cows and 3 dogs on a job site. What you can see here are the fellas getting prepped to dig the 48 holes that the engineering called for. These Jenga block arrangements are called sties. Unfortunately, the team had to move 3 of these sties as there were a few stump holes needing to be dug directly in their way. This didn't take long, of course, as this isn't their first rodeo. No complaining or whinging about it. They just got to work and got it done. We love that go-to attitude. It really flows around this job site, making it a pleasure to just be sitting back and watching and filming. Moving a sty was just a matter of propping up the house again with the bottle jack and rebuilding the other one. You can hear in the background the other fellas looking at each stump location and calling out which bracket type was needed. The stumps were all custom built for this house on this site, and it literally took a day for them to be made up.
We're just going to leave that end there. Pull it in.
21 is a T. 22 is a T, yeah. 23 is a straight. 24. You got it there. Got it. What was that? 26 is a T.
Down there? Yep. Yep. Like we're not covering up any others. Yep, we're good there. Down gently. Good.
T.
27.
L.
28.
Straight.
29.
Straight. 40. Straight.
41. 42.
Is now. Get another.
45.
L.
Once all the stump locations were accessible, it was time to get the holes dug. This is a Vermeer mini skid steer with the auger drive attachment. It honestly looked like a lot of fun to operate, and the boys took it in turns. That's one done, only 47 more holes to go. Yeah.
Go hard, or do you want them all at what they get called in? Harder.
Once the 3 styes had been moved, the next job was getting the laser level set up, ready to double check that everything was still in place, and some custom bolts made up to be attached to the house at each stump location. These bolts would be used after the house was lowered the next day, to adjust each stump height to their exact height for each one. Constant micro adjustments. As you can see, today started off with a little bit of rain. This was the only hiccup we had on the whole job, and it didn't slow the boys down one bit. They just got on with it. Now's the time to drop this house down to its almost final location.
Crack. Going. Down.
They worked in either 50 or 100 mil increments at a time, working from left to middle to right to middle to left to middle to right, as a team in sequence. This is what experience looks like. There was about 1 metre in total of drop that the team had to make, so 50 mil over 1 metre is 20 or so drops. As you can see here, it's a slow process, and all up took quite a few hours. Moving it more quickly than this in one go can cause big dramas with the house deforming. And if you listen closely, you can hear the house's old bones creaking as it goes down, bit by bit.
Crack. Going. Two. One. Touchdown. None. Okay, ready. Down. Down. Ready? Crack.
Cracking. Yep.
Going. Oneies.
Down.
Downies. Fitty in the middle.
Oh, that's cool.
It's getting too low now, I've got to bend down. See how you're not in the centre here? And it's sort of rolling the steel, that's why this end is steel down. Try and get that directly in the centre. About 450 to go.
Keep bashing my head into things now.
Crack.
Cracked!
Crack.
Going.
Noise.
Oney.
Down!
There was lots more checking with the level, just to be sure, because going down too far or too far out of level is extra work in the long run.
Reese. Perfect.
Probably want something like food, Daddy.
Righto. Feel the rhythm. Feel the right. Get ready. Push cut time. Go.
Cracking.
Cracking.
Going.
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 Now the house is in its almost final position at this stage. This is the final drop run here. Notice the knee pads. We are down a long way.
You alright?
Need a bit of packing in front of that. Here. What's a blowy front of you?
Perfect, that'll do.
Yep.
Ready?
Ready?
Crack.
Crack. Crack.
Going.
Going.
Two.
One. Down.
Downies. Righto.
Cracking.
Cracked.
Crack.
Crack.
Going.
Going.
Oneies. Downies.
Johnny. Ready.
Ready.
Ready?
Cracking.
Cracking.
Cracked.
Going.
Going.
Bunnies.
One.
Down.
Down.
What's that lovely tape measure say over there, Reese? 975.
What's his datum point?
I really like. Yep.
975, mate.
Righto. Laser. Do a trim. Set my height off there. I'll run through it all. Make sure it's all above, and then put the jacks in, and we're going to the races. On late.
This is when the laser level really comes into its element. The most important part of the whole process is right now. As per our drawings, we've elected for the house height to be 6 steps from the ground to the finished floor level, and the laser's been set up to that specification.
Be careful of these ones, there's already little holes there. They weren't quite on the mark.
each stump gets hung with a bolt to the exact height, and then they each get painted with black sealed heavy-duty waterproofing sealant. Now it was time for the pump truck and of course the concrete truck to arrive. The lime pump sure does save a lot of work. Imagine before lime pumps were invented, this would have all been done with a wheelbarrow or buckets even. So to get 48 holes filled like this, underneath a house that's 900 mil off the ground sure makes this easy work. Each stump hole gets enough concrete to give it a little dome, and once each one was filled, it was time to set the stump into the right spot. The heights were already set, so it was just a matter of getting each one plumb. And then once they were plumb, the concrete was smoothed out and domed neatly. 48 times. There was nothing for us to do except sit back and watch, or squat down and look intently. Or in Havoc's case, have a nap. He's seen it all before. The team worked really hard, especially hard as it was the day after the Melbourne Cup, but this didn't stop them from working as a team and getting it done. Everyone had their jobs to do and they did it all so smoothly. Unfortunately, we weren't there to see the final lowering as we'd headed into town for supplies for our next project. But it doesn't stop there. Geez, it's looking good.
So guess what, Jill? We've wrapped it up. Our QHR crew have finished just today, and we couldn't help getting up here as soon as we could and having a look around. The house got lowered onto its stumps into its final location just today, no more than 3 or 4 hours ago. So here we are up here we wanted to say a big thanks to the QHR team. They've been perfect the whole way through. As you can see in the videos, what we've recorded is great. All the crews that have come in have been unbelievable. What do you think?
There was a lot of moving parts, but they all got lowered into the right spot all at the right time. And yeah, now it's time for us to take over. So we're super excited to get cracking into it. We've already filmed a few little bits that we couldn't help ourselves doing, so that'll come up in future videos anyway. But otherwise, we're going to get on with it.
We're going to make a start this afternoon. What else are we going to do? Well, we may as well get into it. So thanks for following along. Our journey starts here with us. You'll see us a lot more, and we'll do what we can to show you what we can. If you follow along, we'll love it. So let's get into it.
Cheers.
Thanks.